most leopards, it's not the most energetic chase. They give up quite quickly. Their whole aim, as we saw with when they chased that and killed that African wild dog, is surprise. And if they can't actually surprise them in a small area, the leopards and other animals generally escape. Now, I think this is actually a tree where we found a genet. What happened there? Herbie had a half sneeze. He tried to stop it, and I heard a sound that I thought was an animal dying behind me. So there's a genet that I have seen just after dark, sleeping or waking up and grooming itself in this Timbuti tree. So I just wanted to have a quick check. Also, we want to have a look here, see if we've got any tracks of Hosana and Xongile where we can see it nicely in this little flowing stream. But so far, no luck. Oh, no leopard tracks just yet. Okay, so we're about to go into, oh, where'd you go, Craig? There you are. We're about to go into a very thick area, so we're going to need our wits about us a bit. So while we do that, let's go see how the brimming Buffelshoek Dam is looking.
Yes, Brent, please be safe out there. You've had lots of exciting encounters today. We want you to, of course, arrive alive tonight. But we've got Mr. and Mrs. Egyptian goose and also a water thickney that has now been disturbed by the Egyptian geese. But this dam is absolutely flourishing. Oh, look who it is. Look who it is. This is a very grumpy hippopotamus. And just by the size of this hippo, I'm going to say that it is a big hippo bull. And he's not very happy at us at the moment. He keeps going underwater, but he blasts up and he gives us a big death stare. And there, he's just sort of shouted at us. But he hasn't opened his mouth just yet, so he's still alright. But I don't think we'll bother him for too much. I don't know why he's unrelaxed, because you can see he's got ample space to move around. Typically, you'll see behavior like that from bulls when they feel a little bit threatened, when it's a smaller water source. So that's what I don't know why. What bee is in his bonnet at the moment? It's okay, big boy. We won't bother you for too much longer. But it's quite deep. You see how he's going right under, and I think he must sink quite low down. And then he has to thrust up from the bottom and poke his nose up to catch his breath again. Isn't this cool, though? It is huge, this dam now. It is so full. But how nice to hear the sound of a hippo. And I know we're lucky now with Chitwa Dam. We are really fortunate to hear them all the time, to see the amazing interactions between the various hippos and the pods, the youngsters playing. And hopefully, now that Buffelshoek Dam is full, we've now got an opportunity, a whole new habitat to house a pod of hippos. So let's keep our fingers crossed that perhaps a couple of them move in and we get to see them. Okie dokes, I think let's carry on. I don't want to upset Mr. Hippopotamus for too long. It's not necessary. Maybe he'll be surprised if he pops up again and we're not there. I'm sure he'll be a lot happier about that. I think what we're going to go and do, though, is we're going to most likely go and head towards those lions. But we're still quite far away, so we'll try and zoom along. Bye, Hippo. We're gone now. You can relax. I don't know why he was so angry with us. So yeah, so I think that'll be our plan. And I haven't seen lions in a long time. And I mean, who doesn't love amber eyes? And my favorite lioness of the whole Nkuhuma Pride is the youngest Nkuhuma lioness. So that's probably going to be our plan. And maybe we get lucky and we get to spend the rest of the evening with them and see what they get up to. I just hope that they're not sleeping, because that's really not my favorite thing to see. Slow little bumble around there. And I'm sure by the time we get there, well, it'll almost be sunset. Almost. Do you think we're going to have a good sunset tonight, Brian? Nice clouds tonight. Not too thick either. Jump onto the cut line. It'll be a bit quicker, I think, than driving on the fire break. Right. Oh, it's so lovely. Brian and I were just saying, like, we can't believe how green it is and how really lovely it is, and the bush has made a phenomenal recovery to that horrendous drought that we had. It's just amazing how resilient nature is. I mean, the grasses, for example, they obviously went into a bit of a dormant state. Their roots were still underneath the ground, just waiting for that perfect time for just a couple of drops of rain to enter back into the roots and sort of revive them. But now look at it. Now you can't even see your feet when you stand in the grass. Oh, this is a lovely, lovely afternoon to be out in the bush. So we're just going to keep bumbling for the moment and see what we bump into. Like I said, we're not going to stop and go searching for anything else. We're going to head all the way back around towards where those lions are. But it'll take some time, so you'll just have to bear with us as we bumble around. I didn't bring a jersey. Did you bring a jersey, Brian? You did. You brought 3. My goodness, is it going to snow tonight? I'd love to see elephants covered in snow. I've said that once. I'm always just putting things out there into the world, hoping that one we'll see something along those lines, which will be really nice. Right. I don't think I want to go down Hyena Road just yet. I think I'll leave that for another day. I'm not sure if anybody's driven it, just because that's a notoriously bad road. There's a lot of clay, a lot of those mud wallows, which I'm sure will be overflowing now. So I think it's best, maybe we just give it one more day to dry out. We'll test it tomorrow morning and see how it is looking. I haven't been down there in a very long time. Oh, you know what we were supposed to do, Brian, that we completely forgot about, was going to check around Vuyatela and Gallagher. And wait 2 seconds. I have something to tell you. I just have to very quickly get the name. I found out about that leopard, that mystery leopard. I just want to very quickly get the name. One of my friends that was here sent it through. I think he sent it through to Guy Balm, like I said. Okay, cool. So it's a male leopard by the name of the River Rock male leopard, and apparently he lives around Mala. So he's quite far from home if you think about it. Probably just venturing a bit. I'm not sure exactly how old he is, but from the pictures he looks mature. He's definitely not a youngster, as young as Quarantine. I think I could be mistaken. We might actually have to have a look. So if any of you can maybe pop onto the River Rock male leopard Facebook page, or I don't know, maybe there's not even any information on there. Maybe you've heard of him before. I've heard of him. I remember when I was guiding down at Sabi, we had a male leopard.
Taylor has given you the update about the leopard that was seen yesterday evening. Unfortunately, shortly afterwards, sheer excitement of it vanished from your screen. That's just one of those things about bringing you a live safari from the middle of here, is that sometimes things go wrong. I have another update for you on Vutomi, who apparently has killed a sub-adult impala right outside Nkoro's lodge. So Nkoro is the property just to the north of us. Unfortunately, we don't drive there, but it's good to know that he is coping all on his own. I spoke to one of the Nkoro guides earlier about his mother in Kanyeni. In Kanyeni I've still never seen. However, apparently they saw her briefly a few days ago, but he said she was acting oddly. She was peculiar. She was skittish and ducking and diving. I'm not quite sure what's gone on with her. Why she left Vutomi for so long. Maybe, I suppose it's possible that she had cubs. When did Taylor see her mating? No, it's not possible. That was 2 months ago, wasn't it? Well, mind you, it's middle of March. No, it's not possible. So she can't have cubs. And it does mean that poor Vutomi, at quite an early age for a young male leopard, has been on his own for quite an extended period of time. So it's nice to know that he's managed once again to catch himself a substantial meal. Now he just has to learn how to hoist them to keep them safe from hyenas, which unfortunately for little Vutomi is quite a challenge, because he's a small leopard. He's not large. We are racing the light towards Chitwa Dam. I did say it was going to be my last waterhole. It's my last hope for a swimming elephant. None of the elephants were swimming around Cheetah Plains. None of the elephants were there at all. And apart from the warthogs and doves, it was very quiet. I was also thinking about the fact that we hardly ever have dwarf mongoose sightings anymore, just because the grass is so long that we hear them, but we don't see them. We hardly ever put them on camera at the moment. They're basically invisible and very, very difficult to film. Oh, never mind. Apparently Taylor had some at the start of the drive. So, on that somewhat confused note, we're going to dash through the Mulwanini and get to Chitwa Dam. While we do that, let's find out how Brent is doing, if he's still riding his big cat high.
Sorry guys, so Craig's face at the moment is too priceless. So I asked him to go around to have a look. I can't actually see, I think it's a little bark spider. I can't see, I'm only looking at its underside. And as he was going around, Craig managed to find a different spider that sort of hung on his cap, and you should have seen him trying to get away from the spider. It was quite amusing. There's one on my head, there's one on my head. Okay, Craig. So it's the most loud he's been all bushwalk. We've had lions, we've had leopards, and a spider gets him going. Well, isn't this tiny? I mean, it is minute, this little spider. It's got a really, really fine, oh, an insect just bounced out of it. A fine, fine web. I'm going to come round now so I can try to see what type of spider it is, because I can only see its legs and it's the underneath of it. I'm guessing it's one of the bark spiders or bird dropping spiders, just from what I could see from the other side. Maybe a little bird dropping spider, I'm not 100% sure. Now, you can just see underneath it, there's that little bit of white. Oh, there we go. Now, that in theory is to stop things like big birds flying through it, but that one's a bit small. There we go, look. And now, look at it cruising. It's going away from us. I think we gave it a bit of a fright, so it's heading to a leaf where it can hide. Now, this could be very interesting, because it could stop. And let's see if it's a bird dropping spider, because it might take up a position where it tries to. No, I think this is a bark spider. Looking at it now. Hello, little bark spider. Sorry we gave you a fright. Now, quite interesting. This spider's probably only put up its web in the last hour or so. So they tend to do it at dusk, and then after dawn, or even before dawn, they'll eat their own web, because they don't want to lose all the protein that it took to build that web. So they will only keep their web up at night. Now, there's a couple of different reasons they do this. Of course, there's a lot more insect life out at night. There's a lot less things that are going to eat a bark spider out at night, like birds. And also, there's a lot less animal movement of your mammals down big game paths like the one we're on. So less likely that it's going to have its web destroyed. Okay, well, we're still looking for Hosana and Xongile. I think they might have even run all the way onto quarantine after being chased by those lions. And what we're going to hope to do is try to find them. But we more than trying to find them is actually, the sun is starting to get low. It's starting to get to the sort of predator hour, that crepuscular hour. And I don't want to be too close to two hungry lionesses while on foot. During the day when it's hot, it's a completely different animal. I'm very comfortable walking into lions. But as soon as it starts getting to around dusk, and those lions can start getting mobile and start getting hungry, we stop being the dominant predator. Our eyes don't work so well. We become part of the food chain. So we also just want to make sure we've got a nice bit of distance between us and those lionesses. Okay, while we move on, Taylor's got something like us that doesn't want to bump into lionesses after dark. Let's find out what.
We don't really have him anymore, unfortunately. There's a buffalo. You can just see his horns. He was having a mud wallow, but he's decided that he doesn't like us very much, and he is moving off. So will we. We won't disturb him for too much longer. Sorry, buffalo. But what he was doing, he was rubbing up against a bush. It was quite funny. and I think he was just trying to get rid of all the flies. And I did try to offer him a piece of my guarri branch. I even said that I would do the swatting for him. Oh my goodness, Brian, if you can see what I'm seeing. Oh, there's a whole swarm behind Brian. They're coming for him. No, that was really funny, but well, as you saw, he sort of said, no, I'm not interested, Taylor, and then kept moving on. Right, let's get a couple of these. Now, earlier, I'm so sorry, I missed you, of course. I completely got attacked by gremlins. The guarri branches weren't strong enough to quite swat them away, but we did try. So it was really interesting to find out who that male is, and like I said, I had heard of him before, and we actually got him confused one day. We found a young male leopard and a massive gash up one of his legs, but he was only about 3.5, 4 years old, and he came bumbling past and we couldn't figure out who he was, but it turned out that leopard was the flat rock male. Now it gets confusing when you talk about the river rock male and then the flat rock male and all these different leopards, but I haven't seen him before, but at least we've solved the mystery, and I'm going to leave it to all of you to do a little bit of investigating. So if you do find any information about this river rock male leopard that lives mainly on Mala, please do share it with us, #SafariLive. It's always nice to know about potentially new leopards that are coming about on the property. And yeah, I'm sure you've probably sent through a couple of things already, so I look forward to either reading them a bit later, or I'm sure Louise is going to give us a couple little hints and bits of information as we go along. We actually I'd said to you that we'd completely forgotten to come and check around here on Mvubu Road where we heard all the monkeys alarming. I'm just doing a very quick squiz. Now, as we're driving by here, it's lovely and cool. You're still being attacked, Brian? Oh my goodness, they're still trailing us. We might have to go a bit quicker to lose them. Sorry, Jeff, you've said, what is the most unpredictable animal in the bush? It's a hard one. I'm going to go with buffalo, definitely, and then also hippopotamus can be a bit sneaky sometimes too, especially when they're out on land and you least expect them. The other animals' behaviors are quite obvious to read. A hippo's behavior is slightly easier to read than a buffalo. But running into that buffalo on his own like that, especially if it was after dark, I can see why Brent would be a little bit stressed, never mind being around hungry lions. But like he said, you don't want to bump into a lone buffalo bull, or any buffalo at night really. They can be startled quite easily. We're going over the dam wall now. Down we go. And then hopefully we're going to pick up on these lionesses. So what we'll do is we'll go along through Philemon's Dip, and then we'll jump onto Rebecca's and try and head into the last area where they were seen. I know they were apparently pushing the leopard cubs, but we'll just have a look. Mike is on quarantine driving that most southern road. Oh, let's have a look. There's some birdies here. I think I can see a comb-billed duck that's been swimming around. I'm just going to pretend like I'm going past, of course, and then I shall stop right here. Oh, that's beautiful. Hello, big boy. Isn't that lovely? And I know the zoomies were zoomed in on this comb-billed duck for most of the day today, and it's very, very special to see these guys. They're not uncommon. You definitely do see them around, but I just don't think we see them enough. So this is really, really wonderful to have about here. But I don't think we should spend too much time hanging around with the birds. As much as I absolutely love the birds, I would love to go and have a look for those lions. But Brian, there's a kingfisher just sitting over there. Hang on, the monkeys are shouting. There's the woodland kingfisher. I'm just listening. The vervet monkeys are going ballistic. Absolutely ballistic. Oh, there's two of them. Hello, guys. Very cool, Brian. And you can see that they've been dipping away in the water as they shake their wings and open their beaks. All that water is dripping off. But they tend to dry quite quickly. Brian, I wonder if we shouldn't go back and drive that shortcut Gallagher. What do you think? I think it's a good idea. Can we have a look at two little birds that are in the middle of the dam? That'll be another exciting bird to add to your list if you haven't seen it yet with Brent. Who do we have? Who are you? Dabchicks! Little grebes, or dabchicks as they're also known as. I haven't seen these since Zambia days. It's been a while. Also, first for me here in the Sabi Sand. So 2 new birds that I haven't seen, well, I have seen before, but not in this particular area. So again, I hope that we're adding a couple of really cool birds to your list. And they're really, really tiny little things. Look at them go, swimming away, diving. Crystal, you've asked how many kingfisher species there are in South Africa. I think there's 12, but let me count. Let's open the bird app, and that will take 2 seconds, of course, to quickly see how many there are. But I think there's 12 species in total. We've got to go all the way back. We're going to go to K, kingfisher, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so far. I'm going to go to the next one. 7, 8, 9, 10. Just 10. So I made that up. Just having a look. Let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So not 12, only 10 species. I don't know where I got 12 from. Perhaps I'm looking at overall in Africa, but that's just down here in southern Africa, which is really cool. And we see quite a few of them too. Right, let's change our plan. We'll get to those lions, I promise, and I'm sure Jamie's going to come back at some time. Let's reverse. But nobody's driven shortcut Gallagher, I don't think. Actually, no, I'm just thinking it's actually sounded like it was closer towards the pan, so maybe we must jump on from Gallagher's side and get straight to that pan, though there is a lot of water around at the moment in the drainage system. So if there is a cat of some sort walking around there, there's many spots that they could drink water. So we'll just go poke our nose in there very, very quickly and then see what else we can find. Lucian, hello Lucian, you're wondering, apart from baboons, what other types of monkeys do we get? So we get the Samango monkey, and then we also get a big vervet monkey, which is grey. The Samango and the vervets actually look quite similar. Should we keep an eye on the dam as we go around the corner here? Quickly have a look. Oh, look at that. That's a beautiful shot, Brian. Very nice. Alright, as we go around the bend, I would like to take a shortcut, but I'm not going to. We'll just drive a little bit quicker. Let me race along here. And go very quickly. Woo! We don't want to waste too much time. I can't see where those monkeys are. I'm staring at the lodge, just trying to see if they're perhaps not sitting on those fever trees or up in any of the knob thorns. They've also gone quiet. And we had lots of female leopard tracks moving around. I had some on Sandy Patch. Jamie had some, I think, on Balanites Road this morning. So it could be Karula wandering around. It's not unlike her to travel such far distances in search of food. Okay, and I'm just going to go a little bit quicker. So we're heading into warp speed now. Might see the camera bounce around a little bit. Let's not waste any time. I don't know if there's any guides around here and if anybody else has heard the alarm calls. Off we go on an adventure. Who knows what we'll see. And we're also trying to get away from the flies. Have we lost them? No, we're not going fast enough, Brian. They're still hot on our heels, those biting flies. Woo! So we're going to keep racing very quickly. You're going to check the little pan just behind Gallagher Lodge. I'm going to send you across to Brent just before the sun decides to set.
Can we beat Taylor? Can we make it a second leopard sighting on foot? Come on, Craig. Come on, Batman. Faster. Don't make me use my stick, Batman. 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 Hop. Hop, Batman. Hop. No, of course I'm not going to hit Craig. He needs his legs. But we're going to try to give Taylor a hand. So what we've done is, due to the fact, so you can see that big tree there, that's where the lions are. I don't want to be, hang on. I don't want to be in those thickets when that sun is getting lower, especially with 2 hungry lionesses. So we're going to move out to it's a bit open, so even if the lionesses do decide we look like we're on dinner, the dinner menu, we've got a lot more space to decide what to do. Now, some of the most important things about walking on foot in the bush is time and space. So giving you an opportunity to decide what to do, and of course being calm in those situations. And so everyone thinks a big gun is the most important thing in the bush. It's not. It's a calm head, a good stick, and calm head, a good stick, good pair of shoes actually, and probably the most important of all, a good torch. Now, a torch at night when you are at your most vulnerable is to give you time to decide what to do. If you see a lion, you're going to see it. When it's not jumping onto you, you're going to see it from beforehand. Sorry, I missed the name there. Let me just turn up my volume. William. Hi, William. William would like to know, what is the most dangerous experience I've had with a lion? But before that, William, a lot of you know I'm trying to get to 100 bird species, and before I go and leave, and I've got quite a lot of catching up to do. On top of there is my missing bee eater species. We've seen European, we've seen carmine. Now we can add the little, which I think we're probably closing on 40 or 50 birds now. But still not close to that 100. Okay, thanks little bee eater. That is a little bee eater. We're going to keep going for where those monkeys were alarm calling. So William, my worst experience on foot with lion. See, well, I don't know if you can call them the worst experiences because they're often the most memorable, and the ones you can often call your best experiences afterwards. Now, so in the reserve where my parents live, the lions aren't tracked on foot very often. Herbie's actually worked there as well. And Craig was joking around earlier. He says he wants to be charged by a lion. And Herbie says, yes, you must take him to Blue Canyon. Now there, I've literally come around a thicket, and I always carry a rock or a stick when I'm tracking those lions in particular. And I've hit a lioness at about that far away. We both came around a bush, and she was right there. I went, rah! For that, yeah. Unfortunately, she ran away, and that was probably one of the scarier ones. 2 male lions in the Kruger Park charged us from about 80 meters. And when you get charged by lions, of course every situation is different. You've got to judge every situation on merit. But when you get charged by lions, noisy lion equals safe lion. Quiet lion, dangerous lion. So if a lion comes at you going and making lots of noise, it's just telling you to go away. You're too close, it's feeling uncomfortable. If it's coming quietly, you're up that creek without a paddle. But fortunately you can make yourself a paddle quite quickly by controlling the situation. So whatever you do, don't run, shout. Sometimes you might use some bad words in those situations, but they tend to work. There's an Afrikaans word that is particularly effective when it comes to dealing with lions. It basically means go away, but in a harsh term. It's not actually a swear word, but it's just got a lovely sound to it. Futak! And it works with elephants as well, futsak. And even French elephants in Gabon, they understood futsak. Swahili elephants in Tanzania, they also understood futsak. So I think it's universal walking language. Sorry, I think I heard something. So I can hear where Taylor's driving. Herbie, what do you think? We sneak in down the Shkova. We agree. Karula will often use a little river system that runs next to the tent. Actually, where we saw her from the tent a couple of days ago. So we think it's probably Karula that those alarm calls are at. Katie is wondering, what are my favorite animals to encounter while out on safari? Well, Katie, do you mean walking safari? Then I would have to say it has to be Hosana and Xongile are incredible on foot. Elephants, I love big elephant bulls on foot. Rhino, fantastic on foot. I have bushbuck, bugs, birds. I actually love them all, but my favorite animal of all to encounter on a walk or on a vehicle is the African wild dog. I haven't been lucky enough to have them on foot at Safari Live, but I've spent a lot of time on foot with them in other places, in Blue Canyon, in Botswana, in Zambia, in Tanzania. So they are incredibly inquisitive. And in Botswana once, I lay down in a road like this as a pack of dogs were walking towards me, and they got so close they sniffed and misted up my camera lens. It was amazing. It is wonderful. Now, some of the, actually, one of the scarier ones to photograph on foot is lions. Oh, darn it! We're probably about 100 meters away from where Taylor is, but she's beaten us to the punch. Let's go have a look.
So you won't believe it, those alarm calls that we'd heard are 100% correct, and Andrew was just up ahead of us. We checked the Galago pan, nothing, and as we were there, Andrew, who's just in front of us, said he's just spotted Karula and her 2 cubs, and I saw their tracks. So I think they're just up ahead. We'll just let Andrew have a little bit of a look, because he spent so much time. Well, he was the one that found them, and I think he deserves the prime spot for the moment. But as you know, we all share sightings out here and we take turns. Let me just turn the radio on again. See where he's gone. I don't know if they've gone up here. Oh, there they are. There we go. Now you'll see Andrew's vehicle, but we'll just zoom past it. How cool is that? The 3, the royal family, have finally rejoined, and I'm sure you're all happy to know that they are safe. Look at Hosana. He's almost exactly the same height as his mother now. He's growing every single day. They are moving very quickly, and they are going north, so I don't know how long we're going to be able to stick with them until Karula either takes them to a kill, which she may have done because she's been hanging around in this area. She's been very, very busy. Let's jump in front. I think Andrew's giving us a shot on it. He's jumping in front. We'll get the next one. And it's very, well, maybe she just made a kill around here, or we've seen it before where she's taken her cubs all the way into Bilful's Hook. So that's not unusual too. And they travel such a quick distance. But we'll try and squeeze in front of Andrew now, and actually we'll try and get in front. I think if there's an opportunity to, we'll definitely try and have a look. Cool, so we'll just watch them from here until they disappear, and then we shall jump in front. Little Xongile at the back. Hello, beautiful girl. Playing with the grass as she goes by. She can't resist herself, can she? Right, and there they go. Let's jump. Let's take our turn. Have a quick look here. Thanks, Andrew. Hey, Brad. Well done, hey? We're going to pull off the road as well, just so Andrew can see. It's always difficult when they are moving down a road like this. So you've got to try and help, and that's why I'd like to get in front of them, so that Andrew can have the whole sighting from the back, and we can come in from the front, and we'll just play reverse. We pull off down here. Hello, guys. All that beautifully in a row. There we go. It's good to see Hosana also doing a bit of grooming as he goes along. And now Karula. They're all copying each other. Come on, Xongile. You can't fall out. You've got to do a bit of grooming too. But look how quickly they're going. It's almost impossible to try and keep up with them. And it's a pity it's so dense here. Otherwise, I would have shot through this little drainage system and up the other side. And then we could have easily got in front. Let's keep our fingers crossed that Karula's made a kill somewhere around here. They're having a drink. Okay, I'm going to pull off over here. And then Andrew can sneak in. There we go. How lovely is that? Thirsty cats. very, very exciting day, I'm sure, for Hosana and Xongile having interactions with excuse me, with the lions. I don't know how close they got, but I'm sure that it would have given them a bit of a fright. Thirsty, thirsty, thirsty. They are so wonderful. Come on, guys. Keep a move on. No wasting time here. Off they go again. We've just got one lucky last leopard now who's... Come on, catch up. You're very slow, Hosana. You got to keep moving, my friend. So what I'm going to do is they seem to be resting. We've got a much to so we can pull off right to the side. Maybe we'll poke our nose in here and then he can... No, that was a lie. They sat down for a whole of about 2 seconds and then they got up again. Come on, guys. There we go. Hey, Xongile. Oh, she's a splitting image of her mother, isn't she? And now Hosana is laying in the grass. I'm sure they're going to start pouncing on each other any moment. They normally can't resist playing with each other. Oh, but maybe today. Maybe today. Jeremiah wondering if they are in their teen years or if they are still considered cubs. I reckon they're reaching puberty now, I suppose you could say. If you obviously compare them to humans and the human behaviors that we often give animals. Yeah, I would say that they're reaching teenage. They're not quite cubs anymore. They're more juvenile, and then in a couple of months they'll sort of become sub-adults. Remember, they're just over a year now. You can see they're almost the size of their mother. Well, Hosana is definitely. Xongile's got a bit of growing to do. But at that point where they like to rebel. So when mom says, right, stay here, stay put, they sort of go, we'll use that as a guideline rather. Let's let Andrew and his crew come on past. We'll give him a chance again. We had a nice couple of sightings and we'll just keep doing this. Wonderful. Everybody's very excited. All his guests are smiling from ear to ear. I'm sure they're very excited to see these leopards, and especially such a famous family of leopards, the royal family. I think everybody, every single one of you that are watching the show would give your left arm, not but to come out and see these cats in real life. I'm jealous. I wish you could. I wish this was, and it's amazing that we get to do this live, so we're sharing this experience with you. But it's one thing watching, but if you ever get the chance to come on to Africa, please do. This is where it gets a little bit windy. Start, stop, start, stop. That's what we're going to be doing a lot of. Just going around the corner. Just going to try and watch them here. So as these cats are disappearing around the corner, we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to follow them and see where they go. But sadly, I think it's almost time for Bushwalk to come home. So let's shoot across to Brent so he can say his goodbyes.
Well, what a walk, lion and leopard. Now, I've got to wonder, because we'd walked around quite wide from where we found the leopards, that the lions might have been notified to the leopard's presence by Karula coming in to call the cubs. I think Taylor is on it. Karula's come to fetch them, and I think maybe her calling and chuffing notified the lions to where Karula was, and the cubs were. So maybe that's why they chased. And I think she's on her way back to the kill. Now, those lions are probably still only about 400 meters from us, and it is about the time of the day where they get moving. Now, I think some of you might have struggled with the word I said a bit earlier, foot sack. Basically, it means foot sack. But I know it's basically like foot sack, get out, go away, and it's spelled V-O-E-T-S-A-K. V-O-E-T-S-A-K, and then I was talking about how it works even on French elephants. Now, when I say that, of course, I'm joking. There's no such thing as a French-speaking elephant, but the whole of West and Central Africa was under French colonial rule. So the most spoken language in that part of Africa is French, and a lot of the local dialects have even died out in certain countries where French is completely taken over. So, oh, hello. Oh, a feather. A guinea fowl feather. Should I put it in my hat, or should I put it in Craig's hat? I think I'll put it in my hat. See if we can find a spot. Oh. There we go. A celebratory feather for 2 big cats on walk, or 2 different species of big cats, actually 4 big cats on a single bushwalk. So we're going to not keep you away from the royal family for any longer, but we'll see you on the sunrise safari. So from the French elephants in Gabon, and from us here on bushwalk, bon nuit.
Right, we're doing very much of a plenty amount of off-roading at the moment. We're trying to get in front of them. Watch out, Brian. The sneaky one, luckily it doesn't have thorns. But otherwise we're going to get stuck behind them the whole time. But we've hit a couple of obstacles along the way, which is proving to be quite difficult. I can't see all the fallen logs and things that are on the road. So we're driving quite quickly through here. And I hope we don't get a big log underneath the tires. I think we might get a gap here. Let's go. Oh, I don't want to hit an aardvark burrow. But we're racing. Oh no, we've got far away from the road. Down to this. Let's see what we've got going on downhill. Oh, it makes me nervous when I can't see where I'm driving. Okay. Through here, please don't be any big holes. Please don't let us get stuck. We're going to shoot on underneath here. Okay, I don't know. I think we could still be behind them. No, we got in front. Yay! Yay! I'm going to go up. I'm going to go up and turn around, but we're in front of them. Woohoo! Oh no, stalled. Excitement. Cool, now look. Now we're going to play how well can Taylor reverse. I'm going to go back a little bit so that I don't ruin Andrew's guest shot. They've all got cameras. But I'm not going to let Karula pass me. I'm going to stay in front of her. So I'm going to start, stop very often. So you might see the camera shake a bit. And I apologize if my hat does pop into shot every now and then. It's just difficult to reverse and watch where my head is going, but I'll try and keep out of it. Right, let's stop here and wait for them to come to us again. Hello, little girl. They're on a move. Jason, you've asked a very good question. It's something that I've been struggling with for quite some time. But you're wondering, how do I tell the leopards apart from one another? Practice. And just by seeing them every single day, I've now learned the difference between Hosana and Xongile. It's actually quite apparent. I'm just going to go back a little bit. Like I said, I don't want to get stuck behind these cats again. Wait, Hosana. I want to be in front of you, big boy. Luckily, they're obliging leopards too. Give them a bit of room. So I apologize once again about the moving around, but if we lose this spot, we're just going to end up with bum shots all the time. But I'm sure you all don't mind so much. So it gets tough. You know, Jason, oh, okay, now I'm sitting. Now I'm waiting because they're running past us. Guys, okay, now I'm too close, but they're going to walk right past me. I'm going to try. Now, I can't lie any flatter because Karula's literally going to come right past my leg. Look at this. That was close. Sorry guys, you didn't give me an opportunity to move. Hello boy, that's Hosana. He doesn't really care too much. Xongile's gone across the other side. Oh no, she just skimmed past my leg too. This is amazing. Now you can hear, they don't mind me talking too much, but you've got to sit still. If I were to shuffle my feet or do anything like that, they'd react straight away. And it was actually quite funny there. The cubs are more relaxed than what Karula is. I'm going to pull off for Andrew because we've now lost our position, so we need to turn around again. But she actually jogged, she sort of slunk past my leg, and I was sitting very, very still, of course, where you saw Hosana and Xongile didn't really mind at all. They just carried on doing what they do best, leoparding. But how cool was that? And that just shows you. I obviously got stuck there, and I know that they're relaxed, but because they came racing towards us, it would have been silly for me to quickly start the vehicle. I didn't want to give them a fright, so rather just hold your position. Like I said, don't shuffle around. You can carry on talking if they're not nervous, like the royal family is not a very nervous leopard, and do that. That was very cool. Parked just behind Andrew's bottom. We can see them walk off into the distance again. But what an incredible day. You never know, we might still get lucky. We might still have an opportunity to go and find those lionesses wherever they may be. There he goes. See, he's reacting to a bird that's alarming. Very curious. Any small sound grabs the attention of Hosana, who's just in front, and then you can see Xongile at the back. And, oh, sorry, Louise, and no, not at all. Jamie, please head towards those lines. I think I'm going to have my hands full here with the royal family. So we'll let Jamie do that. I suppose we can't do it all in one day, can we? And off we go. Now we start again. Oh, I'm so glad though, as we were off-roading, we didn't manage to drive into any big stumps. It really is quite intimidating as you go about in this long grass. Especially we were going a little bit faster than we normally do when we off-road, but for the best reasons. And I think that sighting we just had sort of proved it. Let's try this again. Let's go off-road. Just go into 4x4 though. We will take the scenic way. Then the ground is quite dry around here. Oh no, that may give us a puncture. Oh goodness, Brian. Did I get it? No. Oh, did I miss it? Oh wow. I drove over a horrible tree. Looked like a dried up spike thorn. The fire break is just here. Oh goodness. Oh, that's a big thud. The fire break's literally just a couple of yards in front of me, which means we're approaching the cut line. And they are going straight, so will we. Let's go here. Watch this, Brian. We're going to lose them just in a moment, but we'll watch them right until the end. It's amazing how quickly these animals can go compared to the really slow pace at which we are restricted to moving in these vehicles. That part of off-roading wasn't too bad. It was actually quite pleasant. Project Alpha, here they are. You're wondering if I think that they may be going somewhere. Definitely. I don't know if Karula has made a kill, because we heard those monkeys alarming for most of the early morning around the camp. And it doesn't look like she's had a feed. They sort of look about the same sort of weight as what they were earlier today. So maybe she is. She does seem to be walking with the determination. Sorry, I'm trying to duck as low as I can go. It's always quite difficult. But there they go. Let me shoot forward. Let's get one last really good view of these leopards. And let me just poke my nose out onto here. She could just be moving them because there was a bit of panic with those lions as well. Sorry, Xongile is now. She picked up a scent on something, and we call Xongile Xongile just as a little pet name, as a camp name. She's smelling something around here. I don't know what she's got over there. I don't know if it's dung. I'm not sure what that is. Jeremiah, wondering what the leopard population is in this specific area. Like I said, I haven't read the latest census I don't even think I got to see the one for last year, for 2016, so I'm not certain as to what the population is at the moment, but I'm sure it must be, I don't even want to guess, because I think I'm going to guess wrong now. Maybe we'll have a look. Does anybody know, has anybody seen a latest census for the greater Kruger area, or perhaps the Sabi Sand? I haven't read Wait, there they go running again. I haven't even had an opportunity to read a Panthera report, but I reckon there must be at least maybe 40 individual leopards at least roaming around in the Sabi Sand, if not even more. So that's the 130,000 acres. I couldn't tell you what the leopard population is in total in the greater Kruger area. We'll have to do a bit of research about that. Where have they gone? Where have they gone? Hi, Jess. Long time. I don't know. Oh, sorry. Lou, can you please repeat that name again for me? Xongile. Okay, just double checking. You're wondering if we can get a look at their tracks. We might be able to. It's a bit dark now. I'll have to put the spotlight on them. Let's stay with these leopards for as long as we can. Otherwise, I'm worried we're going to lose them. We're going to pull off the road nicely just now. Oh, we're all tilted up and down, upside down, inside out. She's looking. I don't know if she has a kill. I think she's just moved them out of an area. Maybe she's going to stash them somewhere else and she's going to go and catch. She's on her way. She's looking for something. She didn't have any blood on her. Like I said, she doesn't look fat. And typically when Karula catches something, she normally has a good feed because Hosana's a greedy guts and he has to be. He's a growing male leopard. Any of you that have teenage boys at home, you'll know exactly what your refrigerator looks like after shopping day, when your boys tuck into all the food. And it's the same thing here. So she normally does that, and it definitely doesn't look like she's had a big feed at all. Here we go. Whee! What has she seen? That was a very big pounce. I don't know where she's gone now. She's somewhere around there. Cubs are very excited. I don't know if she maybe saw a scrub hare. Should we go up further? I think let's quickly shoot up ahead. I don't know. Yeah, let's race. Like I said, I don't know what is here. And we're about to lose them. They're just crossing into Buffelshoek. That was a very big pounce. Hosana's up ahead. Where are you guys? Off they go. And this is going to be the last view that we have of these cubs now. There they go. Off they go into Buffelshoek. I don't know if Karula caught anything. I doubt it though, because they seem to be moving. You just saw the tip of their white tail disappearing. Very cool. Well, that was fantastic. We're going to leave it up to the rest of the guides that can traverse on Buffelshoek, but at least we got a sighting of not the pride, that's a camp joke, of the royal family all together. But Jamie's racing on her way to go and see if she can find those lions. Let's go and see how her journey is going.
Taylor and her pride of leopards. It's been now starting to become an in-joke. Her pride of leopards. Well, I'm glad that she caught up with the royal family. I have to confess, I find it I'm a little concerned. I'm sure that male moved away from that area at some point last night and during the course of today. But that's exactly the route that he took yesterday evening. That was what Taxon was describing to me when I was racing to try and get there. And then he cut north into Buffelshoek as well. He's probably moved, but it's interesting that Karula's moved off in that direction with those cubs. But as Taylor told you, I'm on my way to see those lions. I want to see what they get up to. The rest of the Nkuhumas are not all that far away from where they are. Maybe a mile and a half, give or take, in a straight line, or a straight line. I'm sure that I would love to see all 5 of them back together once again. Sorry, Impala. I know I said we don't often stop enough to appreciate your beauty, but if you could move. Thank you. Sorry, boys. But I want to try and get there before it gets dark. Brent's given me directions, which included an arrow made of a weeping wattle branch, I think is what he said, Dave. Yeah. An arrow made of a weeping wattle branch. So we're going to try and figure this out before it gets too dark. Apparently they're in quite a tricky spot. Hopefully we can figure that one out. They're probably going to start getting up and moving. They were very active this morning and they were looking very hungry. So it'll be a nice thing to spend some time with them for the end of the sunset safari. I just have to speed up a little. Let's go a bit faster. Let's get there before it's completely pitch black. Otherwise I'm gonna struggle. The tracks that we had this morning I think belong to Karula, because then Taylor found her tracks a little bit further to the north, going towards Buffelshoek. So I think those tracks that we were following this morning were not shadows, they were Karula's. And that would explain what she got up to and where she went from when we left her cubs last night. Sorry, Spurfowl. Okay, let's duck quickly in here. The track that we've left behind is basically becoming a road. The one that we used to follow the leopards. And we've just used it so regularly over the last 3 or 4 days that it's slowly but surely becoming more and more prominent. And that's sometimes how new roads are formed. Oh wow. That sky, I'm going to try and stop in a moment, Darby. Oh wow. Should I stop here? The colours of those clouds. I know I said we're rushing, but sometimes you have to stop and look at the sunset. Take in the calls of the birds. Don't you think it looks like the paints have run? It's really beautiful. It looks as though paint has run. It's got wet and it's streaked. Very beautiful. Oh, sorry, Jason, your question went completely out of my mind the minute I saw the sunset. My apologies. You wanted to know about how can you tell the age of big cats. Well, it helps out here that most of the animals, there's sort of records of them from when they were born, right up until whatever point they happen to be at. There's a couple of different methods. The best way, really, of aging big cats is, if we're talking just in general, is probably to look at their teeth, the condition of their teeth, the wear and tear, because naturally I now have to stop here as well for that silhouette. Look at that, against that sky. So looking at the wear and tear of their teeth is probably one of the best ways. Nick's scars on their ears, they tend to increase the older the animal gets, but really the difficulty is, of course, getting them to say ah when you want to try and work out exactly how old they are. One of the things that you cannot do is necessarily judge a big cat by the colour of its nose, because leopards' noses will often stay pink throughout their lives, and lions also have an unpredictable way of their nose darkening. That's really beautiful. Sorry, Jeton, hold on 1 second. Let's look at this, take this in first, and then I'll finish your question. The amount of mane growth. Out here, at about 3, they've got a nice mohawk, but that's starting to fill out around the sides, and you've got the bald patches around here. And then by the time they're about 5 or so years old, you really start to see them getting a full mane of hair, and then from then on it starts to darken. as they get older. Here. Again, looking at the colours of the mane isn't the best way of doing things. Okay. How stunning was that sunset? I can't wait to go back home and see all of your screenshots that would have been shared. For those of you that perhaps have just discovered the stream, you can see some of those screenshots on hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or maybe you'd like to share your own screenshots using the hashtag on Twitter. And you can also there, if you find yourself signed in, you can ask us any questions that you would like to ask and make any comments. So it's basically like you're sitting on the back of the vehicle with us. Oh goodness, tissues flying everywhere. Now, Jeremiah, you want to know what the population of lions is in this area, in this reserve. Probably you're looking at around about 2,000, but it could be more, it could be less. I don't know the exact numbers. There hasn't been a game count released recently. So I'm talking about in the entire, the entire Greater Kruger. So that's including the Kruger National Park itself, the Sabi Sands that we're in now. It might even be a little bit larger than that if we count Baluli, Timbavati and all of those reserves, because there's no fences in between them. In our little patch, we've got the 5 Nkuhumas, so not little patch, but our patch that we drive around in. We've got the 5 Nkuhumas and their 6 cubs, so that's 11. We've got the Sticks, and they're now, 6 cubs now? Presuming the 4 new ones are all alive, so that's 9. So that's 20 in total, plus 4 Birmingham boys, that's 24. Those are the lions that we regularly see. Then there's the 5 Salalas, that's 29. And the occasional visits of the Mangeni Pride. I'm not sure we'll count those, because those have been so exceptional, unusual. Okay, there's the baby Jackberry tree up ahead of me. Let's get there first. That's my landmark. Which is going to be Okay. Now, Sarah, you want to know, while we search for our Nkuhumas, the 2 without cubs, and the 2 that have been separated from the rest of the pride because they've been mating with the males. Sarah, you want to know if lions are seasonal breeders or if they will breed all year round. The answer is they breed all year round. I hope this is the track Brent is talking about. There's the Jackberry tree. And he said, to the west, silver cluster leaves. They breed all year round. However, they will... Let me just turn my lights on. They will often synchronize their estrus cycles. And what I mean by that is the females of a pride will come into estrus relatively regularly at exactly the same time. And they do that because then it means they have their cubs at the same time. And from there, they will be able to allosuckle, which is something that lions do that also helps to ensure the survival of their cubs. Allosuckling is when a female that isn't the mother will feed the cubs as well. And there's some silver cluster leaves in there. I suspect that's what Brent was talking about. Let's see. Felician, I think I'm getting your name right. You want to know how big is a lion pride's territory? Smaller than that of a male coalition. So remember that a lion pride consists of females and their related offspring, and they will have a slightly smaller territory than that of the males, which will have a territory that encompasses several different female pride territories. You're probably looking at, for the Nkuhumas, I would say around about 6,000 hectares, maybe a little bit less. Okay, sorry, I just need to concentrate for a second. Just bear with me. Whereas the Birmingham boys' territory is probably closer to 10, but let's say 8. I think I might have slightly overestimated the Nkuhuma's territory. Okay, I'm going to do some scouring. I'm just looking for Brent's arrow that he kindly placed for us. And while we do that, let's go across to Taylor for an update on her side.
We're bumbling. We're doing a little bit of a bumble now. We're just checking Triple M. I'd heard that the Nkuhumas were just in, excuse me, in Arathusa. Oh my goodness, I just swallowed a little bug there. Okay, I've just got to swallow. Oh, I'm getting good at swallowing these bugs now. But it's a very, very full sighting. It's a very active lock, and unfortunately I just don't think we're going to get an opportunity to get in now at this time. So we'll just drive the boundary. I'm not sure what they're up to, but they're not far. They're probably only maybe about 100 yards from the cut line, so there's a possibility that they could come across. I think they are on this way. They don't often stay on Arathusa for too long, and hopefully now these two girls will meet up and they will join. So good luck, Jamie, and moving through some of the thick terrain at night. It's quite daunting, isn't it? So I do hope you've managed to find those lioness. Let's just see what we've got here. Maybe we see a bush baby or a chameleon. We're definitely going to go over lots of bumps, I can tell you that. Through this little drainage system we go. Check around here. Nothing just yet. We had a really, really cool sighting, I have to tell you about it, of a fish eagle. But unfortunately it was around Sydney's dam, and you know what it's like down there. Sometimes we don't have the greatest signal. And it's such a shame, because you would have absolutely loved it with that beautiful sky. We had the silhouette of the fish eagle, and then the beautiful pink sort of cloud. It was really, really lovely. It wasn't for very long before it eventually flew off. You know what they're like. They don't seem to want to hang around for very, very long, but it was so nice. And that's what I'm looking forward to most about winter. Is I think in winter we get the most fantastic sunsets and sunrises, because it's so clear and so open. No, we should start. So there's a car but quite far behind me. That's what caught my attention. Hopefully we'll start to see more things like that, which will be nice. Oh my goodness, this road is terrible, all these corrugations. Let's just keep an eye out on this vehicle behind us. Heaven sent, and Trudy, you wondering how can you tell birds apart? Well, I think that was what the question was. Sorry, my earpiece fell out at the exact time. Oh, roads apart, not birds. Yes, my earpiece did fall out at the right time. Roads apart, or practice, and then you look for landmarks. So for instance, there's quite a nice landmark at Philemon's cut line junction with Zoe's Road. There's a brown ivory that's right there, so that's quite nice. So normally when you get that, and we don't see too many brown ivories around here, you know that you're at that point. Termite mounds or specific trees, you might find that there's a buffalo carcass. I'm just going to move off of the road. This car behind me is coming very quickly, and I can't pull off just yet because of all the erosion, so we'll pull off just up ahead. There you go, we'll jump onto this road. That is it for our boundary patrol. They don't need to drive that fast behind me. There we go. And off we go. Oh no, another bumpy section. Hold on. Wait. Yeah, I feel sorry for the maintenance team that's got to come out and do all the repairing of these roads. And then, well, that's another way, I suppose, at the moment you can tell the difference between the roads is because of the various types of erosions that you see. Some are worse than others, but you get used to it. I always say the first property that you ever guide on is the hardest property to learn. You're still learning about direction and the use of landmarks. You've been driving around in the city for most of your life. So the second, third, fourth, fifth property becomes relatively easy. It's not too bad. You pick it up a lot quicker because your sense of direction is much better than what it would have been when you were just starting off. And you get maps and things, so you'll see like we've got there all the roads are GPS marked, and so I can, if I feel like as if I'm lost, I will pop on my GPS, which is the first time I've actually had it out here. And then I can see exactly where I'm going. So that helped us a lot because you don't actually get a chance to learn the roads very quickly when you start at Wild Earth, but it's really not a problem because, like I said, most of us, it's not our first job. We've been guiding for a few years already, and we've worked on various properties. So you pick it up quickly, and then off you go. And you listen to the radio. Somebody calls a sighting in, great. If you're not 100% sure where it is, you just look exactly on either a paper map or on the GPS, which helps us quite a bit to get to spots a little bit quicker. I don't use it too much. Every now and then when I go to Cheetah Plains and then Arathusa, I have to use it pretty much the entire time. That place is very confusing. It's very lots of twisty, windy roads. And I haven't quite learned where the boundaries are just yet. Well, I know which the boundaries on them. The airstrip side, but that's boundary with Simbambili gets a bit hairy because sometimes the roads fork into 4 or 5 roads, you're like, can't I go? That type of vibe. But now it's not so bad. Now it's pretty easy. Janet, you're wondering how close is the nearest town to the reserve. So there's a couple of sort of small, very informal towns not too far from here. You could get to Acorn Hook, which is probably, Brian, how far would you say? Maybe 40 minutes drive, about 40 minutes away, so that's not far, but it's not a big town. So a decent town to get to, you'd have to go into Hoedspruit, which would take you at the moment with the condition of the dirt roads, because we drive on quite long stretches of dirt roads before we even get to any tarred roads. At one point it was taking us about 2 hours, but when the roads are good or in good condition, it'll take about an hour and a half or so. You must remember, when you are driving on dirt roads, you are limited to, I think, a maximum of about 60 kilometers an hour. So what you would normally do in suburbs, that sort of speed. And then once you hit the tarred roads, there's a lot of cows, a lot of sheep, a lot of goats and chickens. There's no fences, dividing the villages and the smaller little towns from the road, so you can't go very fast. You can't go the maximum speed limit, otherwise you are going to run the risk of hitting a domestic animal, and you don't want that. And also there's a couple of big potholes too, so you've just got to take it quite easy. But it's alright, it's a nice drive, it's not too bad at all. But there's many towns surrounding the area, but Hoedspruit is our closest. We're going to keep searching around here and just pop and look around and see if we can find anything of interest. But I wonder if Jamie has had any luck with the lions.
No luck. I found some very surprised looking impala, but no luck with these lions. I'm just trying to basically follow the line of the silver cluster leaf trees, which apparently is where they were, and see whether or not there's also a chance that we just got here that little bit too late and they've moved off. I'm moving very slowly through here on the basis that I can't see a thing in front of me, so I don't want to either get stuck or surprise any small animals. So I'm going very, very slowly through the block, searching for the lions. And Taylor's been explaining how we don't get lost out here. We don't get lost, but sometimes we find ourselves in the middle of the vegetation trying to find our way out in the dark, and that can be quite fun, especially when you're not quite sure exactly where the closest, you know which road is closest, but you don't know which particular point of the road is closest to get to. That's a Dacre, sleepy Dacre. I'm not going to spotlight it because it is a diurnal animal, and there are lions around somewhere, in theory, I have been told. Started my day with these lionesses and ending my day with a search for them. I'm moving further and further west because that was their general direction this morning, and I know that the Nkuhumas are to the west of us as well. I'm hoping that that might be with what's occupying their thoughts. Dave, how far do you think we are from Zoe's Road? Where are we, Dave?
Good question.
I know where we are, fortunately. Roger, you want to know if there have been any conflicts between territorial males recently? I assume you mean with our lions. Yes, I don't know if I'd term it a conflict though. There was a time where, especially with a lot of rain, there was no smell of the Birmingham boys around. They hadn't been around this area in a while. And as a result, I don't know what caused the push. Apparently, according to the other guides further south, pressure from a coalition called the Matshapiri males that pushed the Birminghams up to the north. Oh goodness, that's a big hole. That pushed the Birmingham boys up north, and not the Birminghams, the Matimba males up to the north, back into their old territorial haunts. But of course, they're no longer welcome here. They would kill the cubs for the Nkuhumas, and basically would just spell trouble for them. So the Nkuhumas, I think, have been running a bit scared because of that. Then the Matimbas decided, well, there was silence here, so why not? Oh goodness. Dave, you're slightly higher than me. If you see a big hole,
Yep.
Do you see a big hole?
No.
No.
You want to take it slow, but it's...
Oh wow. Oh, hello. So the Matimbas started coming in and roaring. I'm waiting for the ground to collapse underneath me. It's quite terrifying. I'm scared of art fog burrows. The Matimbas came in and started roaring, which would have terrified the Nkuhumas even more. But then the Birminghams immediately responded. All four of them came through and moved up towards their northern boundary of their territory and to chase the Matimbas up to Manuleti. I don't necessarily think there was a confrontation though. Yes, I see, there's a serious hole. We have got us, okay, there's no we in this really. Dave hasn't contributed to this. I have got myself into such a pickle. I think we have to go that way. Pardon?
Off to the right.
We need to go off to the right. But there's a hole there too. Yeah. Is there a hole here?
No.
Should we try here? I know where I want to be. It's just getting there. Okay. Zebra wood, instant flat tire for whoever gets this vehicle tomorrow. Hold on. Oh, have I pulled out my... I have. My apologies. Alright, let's send you over to Taylor while we get out of here.
We are still bumbling. Brian is demanding a chameleon this evening, which fair enough. You can have a chameleon. We're looking for one, but no luck just yet, which is surprising because it's the perfect temperature for the chameleons to be out. This is normally a good one. Nothing. And nothing. Where are you? That's not a chameleon. That was a leaf that looked very much like a chameleon. Ooh, Jamie, I hope you get out of that block alive. But like I said earlier, I'd rather you than me. I'd be very nervous to be driving around in that long grass. I was quite petrified when I was trying to get in front of the royal family as well, that I was going to fall just into an aardvark burrow or perhaps drive into a massive log. And I seemed to do that without any hope. I mean, no, I don't even know what I was going to say there. My mind was just thinking faster than my mouth could move. Right. You never know, we might even bump into those lions. They've sort of been up and down, zigzagging quite a bit. So we actually drove on Rebecca's again. We're just coming into the drainage system now of Rebecca's. Try and keep my earpiece in my ear. But no tracks. It'll be impossible at night to find these cats if they're walking through that block. It's going to be very, very tricky. If Jamie can get that right, she is superwoman. And it's not an easy thing to do. And it's probably one of the most frustrating things out there is you know that they're in there somewhere, but to try and get them, it's so hard. Maybe we'll see a hyena. I mean, no. Oh, there is. heaven sent and truly blessed. You're wondering if I prefer bushwalk or game drive. It's a tough one. I love bushwalk for the smaller things, like looking at the termites up close. I really enjoy those sort of macro shots that you're able to get on bushwalk, and you just see so much more. I think you learn a lot more when you're down on the ground. In the vehicles we tend to focus on animal behavior. I love game drives though as well. I think I'm going to say I prefer bushwalk though. I do love to walk. Game drives are amazing for photography. Obviously, if you're going to be doing a bushwalk, don't take your camera with you. You're probably not going to get any shots, and you really need to concentrate as well. It's you can't be relaxed like you are in the car. You can't chat as much. To each other. You've really got to watch your volume. Watch where you're walking. All those things. But just from an educational point of view, I think the bushwalks are fantastic. And then driving, it's I suppose you can't even compare the two because they're two completely different things. So driving is great because you get those massive adrenaline rushes like I had today. My goodness, this earpiece is going to get burnt when we get back to camp. It's going to go straight into the fire. So it's really nice to, of course, see all the animals up close, like those leopards that walked past our legs this morning and this afternoon. That was quite something. That was literally rizzing away from my leg, and they were quite happy to do that. And there's just a bronze-wing courser that was in the road, so I just let it fly off. Didn't want to spotlight it. We're a bit too close as well to try and avoid the main part of the beam. Would have blinded them. It wouldn't have been too nice. I'm trying to think, maybe we'll go down and check towards Chile Pans. We'll jump onto Pangolin Track, which is one of my favorite roads to drive, and we'll have a little look around here. And it's sad we didn't have much luck with the rest of the Nkuhuma Pride. And well, we'll just have to wait for tomorrow morning. I suppose that's something to look forward to see if the Pride, or if the two Nkuhuma lionesses that are not with the Pride at the moment rejoin, and hopefully they rejoin on Djuma so that we can watch it all happen. But we shall see. And I can't hear any. This earpiece is not my friend today. I'm going to feed it to the... No, I won't feed it to the animals. That's terrible. No, Louise, don't worry. I can hear you. It's just the fact that it will not stay in my ear is the problem that I'm having at the moment. It's not fun. Louise says I must try and use some glue. Yes, I'm going to put I'm going to put super glue in my ear with the earpiece. That's a fantastic idea. That's actually the tip of the day, everybody, today. Please don't put super glue in your ear. That would not be a very clever thing to do. Super glue is not my friend. Every time I use super glue, I manage to get it everywhere else except on what I needed it for. And then I glue my fingers shut. I actually should just be banned. I should be cautioned or supervised by an adult when I use something like super glue. We're coming up to the pans. There's a little something is chirping. Let's see if we can spot anything. Drive onto the edge here. There's a spider. Can you see that spider that's just over? There we go. Go to the third on the right. There it is. Sorry, Louise, please can you go again? Oh, there, I'm trying to find it. Ah, there it is. It's the spider. Water spider. Oh, wow, it's the same one. It's the same kind of the one that we had on the sunrise safari. Now, Aura, you've said that thank you so much for the educational safari that we've given you today. Aura, it's only a pleasure, and we hope that you join us again. It's lovely to have the youth of today watching and learning about the conservation of animals. Now, that spider is very, very busy, working hard. Have you seen anything else, Brian? Just trying to scan. Any frogs? No. 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 Lots of spiders tonight, but no, I can hear a frog. But I can't see them, they're hiding away. Okay, let's carry on. Bye, spiders. The spiders were much easier to see during the day, so we'll save them for tomorrow. Guess what I'm doing again? Let's push that back in. Off we go. Right, not drive into the water. We're just bumbling. Bumbling. Brian, what do you think we're going to see next?
A bronze wing courser.
Bronze wing courser. That's a good guess. Either that or a thickney or something along those lines. As we get to Pan, which is not too far away from us now. Amazing how the frogs is short-lived. They were very much active over the last couple of days, and then tonight they seem to have gone to sleep and not quite happy. Lots of crickets and things making noises at the moment. Here, nothing. Very quiet. Not even an impala around here. Not that we'll be able to see an impala. Sadly, we didn't have our luck with a chameleon, Brian. I'm very sorry I failed you this evening. Off with my head. We're going to keep on driving around. You never know what we might see. But I am going to say a little goodbye to you, and we're going to jump. What was that? No, my goodness, I imagined something. We're going to send you across to Jamie, though. So from myself and Brian, and of course the hay fever thumb, which we hope does not make an appearance tomorrow, we will see you for the sunrise safari. So off to Jamie, you go.
Oh, don't worry, Taylor. If you feel like a failure, at least you're not still lost in the middle of a block. Not lost, trapped. I suffer from a problem called stubbornness, and whilst I could have gone back all the way around to where we came in, I simply refuse to do that because we're so close to the road. But every turn that I've taken, we've encountered a forest of trees. Okay, we must be nearly there. At least we thoroughly checked for the lions. I can safely say they're not here. They are not in this block. And I hope to no longer be in this block very shortly. Please let that be the road ahead. I know we're close. Dave, we're so close I can nearly smell it. Must be. Dave says hopefully. Okay, come on. One last push through this thicket, and then surely we must be home and free. It's half the fun of going on an adventure. The road's just here. I just want to be there, but there's so many trees in my way. Oh, there's a large log. Okay, this could be us, Dave. This could be us. Okay, let's not get stuck there. How big's that hole, Dave? Seems alright. Marvelous. Whoa! Sherbet. Lots of you wishing me and all of us happy International Women's Day. Thank you very much. We nearly got stuck in a hole. Hold on. And we're out. And on that marvelous note, strength to all the women out there. I thought we were going to get out into the road, but we're not yet. So I'm going to keep struggling through, but it's time to do our goodbyes. Thank you, Dave, for your wonderful camera work and for putting up with the adventure. Thank you to Louise and Megan in Final Control. And most importantly, thank you to all of you for joining us. Thank you for sending through your questions and your comments. We'll catch you on the Sunrise Safari, even if I have to sleep here overnight. Bye-bye, everybody.